Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday, another week. Well, some would say that probably we are following the wrong calendar, which I also tend to believe. So maybe we already started that week yesterday, but that's a different story. Today's video, I will probably title the same way as the article that I just came across, even though it's few months old, and the title is As the West Dies, Israel's Future Lies with Rising Asia. This is the topic that I would like to talk a little bit today, not too much, just to start this conversation, because not just a few videos ago, I was reporting to you about Thai locals that are not too happy about the tourists from Israel. And I have another article for you. Thai locals say Israeli tourists unwelcome amid exploitation, security fears. So we're going to go through this. Very interesting approach, because since we see this divide and conquer formula in full action, full steam ahead, many would be wondering, so how is it going to be with the Asian countries, right? Are they going to be, better places to live? Maybe there will be no influence of so-called tiny heads, etc. So we're going to look into this today. What is the plan? At least if they write the articles, they have some vision for it, right? So before I start, guys, I want to say, as I always do lately always, thank you so much for your donation, for supporting my work. This is who recently donated on my PayPal account, Fred, Kenneth, thank you so much. I know you're a frequent supporter. I appreciate it. And John, thank you very much for your donations. I'm not sure if I've mentioned Michelle last time. If I had, thank you once again, Michelle. I very much appreciate. And also to those of you who are becoming my new Patreon supporters, that is monthly support, it really means a lot to me. So where do we start? Let's start with the short clip that I came across a few days ago, and that interested me because since lately we are circulating in the same vicious cycle of never-ending Habat stories. I came across this video and I want to show you, and then we go to the article that this content creator is mentioning in this clip. So let's take a listen first.
Headline from IsraelNationNews.com. As the West dies, Israel's future lies with rising Asia. Wow. 77-year history of Israel's diplomatic alliances with the West appears to be ending. And increasingly, we see that we have disturbingly little in common with the dying West. So now they're going to try to be a parasite on Asia. Isn't that amazing? So the West was thriving, and then Israel becomes a leech on the West, sucks it dry, kills it, and says, oh, we've destroyed our host. It's time to find a new one. Isn't that amazing? What an admission. What an absolutely stunning admission. You killed the West, you sucked the West to death like a parasite, and now you're moving on to Asia. You know what? I don't think they want you.
So we're gonna go to that I don't think they want ya. We're gonna look at the official website of, as we are almost becoming experts about Lubavitch locations in Asia. But let's go to this article because it's quite an interesting one, and I'm gonna read this to you in full length, and I hope you're okay with this because it paints a picture. Boy, oh boy, what picture is this? So here we have this article from Israel National News. Here is the date, so a few months old, from July 1st. As the West dies, Israel's future lies with rising Asia. Israel shares increasingly fewer values with the leftist West, which, in its bid to destroy itself, has abandoned its history, culture, uniqueness, and belief in itself. Opinion. Just mind you, before we continue, who was the architect? Who was the architect of the West, abandoning its history, culture, uniqueness, and belief in itself. Who created it? Who created the chaos? So let's read it. Here is a photograph of Bangkok, Thailand. Robert Besser is a news editor who has worked in television and newspapers in the United States, Asia, and the Middle East. So we go. Since its founding, Israel believed it could develop alliances with Western countries because we shared the ancient values of our Judeo-Christian heritage. We also believed such alliances were natural joinings, since we, Jews, had much in common with Western civilization. But the 77-year history of Israel's diplomatic alliances with the West appears to be ending, and increasingly we see that we have disturbingly little in common with the dying West. Indeed, today's totalitarian, leftist, and progressive ideas prevalent in the West have resulted in undiluted hatred of Israel and the Jews. For Israel is everything the Western left hates. For Israel is everything the Western left hates. We are nationalistic, we are patriotic, we believe in the distinctiveness of our culture, we revel in our history, we are religious, we celebrate marriage and having children, and we believe in serving our country in uniform. The West, however, no longer believes in any of these foundational virtues. In conversations with today's young adults in the West, they repeat their mantra about seeking quality of life rather than assuming the responsibilities of both adulthood and nationhood. And because the long history of the Jews always repeats itself, the West hates the religion of Judaism for the same reason so many empires and dictators did, which is because we will never bow down before the West leftist religion, this new paganism, but instead cling to our 3,500-year-old faith. In his frustration, the Russian butcher Joseph Stalin said this about the Jews: "I can't swallow them, I can't spit them out. They are the only group that is completely unassimilable." Sorry if I mispronounce. Still, Israel must have alliances with other nations, as this is crucial to the survival of countries, particularly small ones. The question is, with what countries should Israel join? For this brief moment, many countries in Eastern Europe are seeking deeper relations with Israel, motivated by their fears of being overrun by Vladimir Putin's Russia. This is delusion here as well. Okay, but let's continue. I think many of you who are watching my videos lately, you see things differently. However, when the 72-year-old Putin is gone from the scene, so don't think like he's not supportive of Jewish people, please, okay? Russia's next dictator might work to eliminate the tensions with its border countries, which will quickly dilute their attraction to Israel. And I have never met an Israeli who believed peace with any Arab Muslim country is anything but temporary, and exclusively based upon the money that Arabs can make through signing treaties with Israel. So, with what countries can Israel make sincere, substantial, and long-lasting alliances? Simply put, the countries that need Israel, and we need them, are South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, and, critically, India. And as an example of what could be created with partners in the East, today South Korea manufactures its own stealth fighter jet aircraft, the KAI KF-21 Boramae, that's how you say it, which is well regarded. Further, as the nations of Southeast Asia are threatened by a hostile China, they increasingly are attracted to Israel's high-tech, sophisticated armament and battlefield know-how. In non-military fields, Asia seeks access to Israel's vast agricultural expertise, breakthroughs in water usage, medical advancements. Mind you, just quick reminder, who created Shmovit? Just side note from me, I played the video. University exchanges and the many businesses and social benefits Israel can offer. Additionally, let us not forget that today these Asian countries have the capital, the manufacturing bases, and above all, the brains to make meaningful contributions to both their own and Israel's defense. And fundamentally, unlike suicidal Europe, the societal values of Asian countries much more closely align with the Jews, and the Asians well know that. For the Asians believe in their histories, believe themselves to have unique cultures, believe in the education, national service, hard work, and investment. And most important of all, like the Jews, the Asians believe in the value of families as a bedrock of their own cultures. However, the West no longer believes in any of this. So I'm not going to read you the whole thing. I thought I will, but here is the explanation. Here is actually very, very good point. So let's read this. There is nothing Israel can do to prevent the self-destruction of the West, but there is much more work to be done by Israel to prepare for the coming collapse of creating mirror image alliances in the East with people who understand that the world is a harsh place and profess a strong desire to survive into the future. As the West collapses, Israel should be prepared for the chaos and, above all, the power vacuums that will be created. The power vacuums, guys. For who will step in to fill those vacuums? In suicidal Europe, we can expect the Muslim populations who are motivated and well organized to do as they always have done, to conquer. And Israel must also prepare for a new generation of blood-soaked dictators after the passing of Putin and Turkey's Erdogan, so that Israel is not dragged down into the whirlpool of death and destruction, which is promised in the West collapse. We must make plans and act now. The West, and particularly America, will try to prevent Israel from creating military alliances in Asia, since such alliances would mean a lessening of US influence over Israel. As for Europe, they will also try to stop alliances between Israel and Asia, simply because Europe's genetic response is to prevent anything that is good for Israel and the Jews. So guys, few thoughts from me here, just someone who is watching all of this, because like I say, this is all political theater in my opinion. They are playing the parts, the good cop and the bad cop, meanwhile trying to, you know, like Yalta situation. You remember what happened in Yalta? You remember the World War II, how they set up this entire conflict, and who really paid the price? The innocent people who lost their lives. So the citizens of the countries. But where I'm heading with this is, like I said a few videos ago, I don't remember exactly in which video, that there is no perfect place to live in the world, okay? At first, it might seem like it's just safe, it's clean, and that is true. And that is absolutely true. However, the influence is still there, and it will be there even more intense, because that's where they are going to establish their hubs. And why I'm saying this is, let me take you, and we're gonna Google it. So let me show you the locations one more time, because I've done this before. Let me see, website. Okay. So I'm gonna take you to this website that I brought to your attention many times before. Why I'm doing this? Because you can see the map. This is this particular Habat again. Where do they have their offices, places, bases, etc.? So some people think that Asia does not want them, but they are already there, everyone. This is the official website. You scroll down, and we're gonna look at, let's see, locator right here. Do you see this right here? Locator. Now, when you click on this, you're gonna see the map, okay? Of course, here is a lot. Nevertheless, let's zoom in. Let's focus on Asia. You have a lot in Russia too, so don't rely on this article because you see how many places in Russia as well. Georgia here. And we are in Asia. We have a place in Mumbai, even in Nepal. Let's zoom it even more. All those blue dots, this is where they already reside, okay? I'm just talking about this specific Habat, Lubavitch. Taiwan. By the way, I don't know if you know, there was APAC in Taiwan recently. I haven't showed you this. So they're already there, okay? They are already there. And as you see, Thailand right here, and I've showed you this already before as well. Even in China, if you're thinking, no, China doesn't have it. Well, they do. Chengdu and Hong Kong here. We have Shenzhen. Let's see. And Beijing, of course, rank here. Shanghai and Beijing too. So I will attach this again down below in the description box. So you remember the story about Thailand and those Israeli tourists that were not so welcomed. So I have an article for you. This time will be from, I think it's Arab News. I came across this one. Let me read you this one. So from Arab News, this is from November 14th, that's just 3 days ago. Thai locals say Israeli tourists unwelcome amid exploitation, security fears. So here you see the picture right here. This is from Thailand, and it says, no Israel. So what is this about? Let's read this, guys. Number of Israeli tourists to Thailand expected to reach 350,000 in 2025, up 25% from last year. Their lack of respect for local culture, setting up Israeli schools and religious centers also stir unease. Ko Phangan. If I mispronounce the names or the names of the cities or people, apologies to all my viewers if there's anyone watching from Thailand. After months of enduring Israeli tourists snatching his restaurant's tissues and condiments, I don't know how to pronounce it, without permission, hogging seats without paying, and skipping lines, Bob reached his breaking point and decided to no longer welcome them. Having worked all his life in the hospitality industry, he had never come across such a behavior by visitors to the island. Each time he tried to intervene, he was faced with a wave of negative reviews hitting his establishment. Quoting now him, after I asked one group of Israeli tourists to leave, I received more than 4,000 bad reviews. My restaurant's rating dropped from 4.8 to 2.2 stars. It's now been corrected, but that experience was really frustrating, Bob told Arab News. In October, so this October 2025, his restaurant, Pun Pun Thai Food, if I ever am in this area, I'm going to go and visit. A popular establishment on Ko Phangan, a holiday island in southern Thailand, put up a sign making it clear that Israelis were not allowed even past the threshold. I hate the repeated behavior I've encountered from many Israeli tourists. It happens so often that it led me to put up a No Israel sign at my restaurant. What I've experienced isn't just from one person, it happens repeatedly. Over the past few months, such incidents have been increasingly highlighted by the locals, who started to record and share them on social media. In May, an Israeli woman went viral after a Ko Phangan restaurant employee requested that she leave for not respecting the establishment rules. The employee could be heard saying, "You're not welcome here." To which the woman replied, "My money builds your country." Wow. So her money builds the country. Interesting. And what country builds her money? Besides the nuance that such a behavior has become for them, locals are also worried about tourists competing with their businesses by renting out houses, running restaurants, organizing tours, or operating motorbike rental shops without permission. Can I just tell you, and maybe I have to make a video one day about how Poland was before the World War II. That was the same story. And I think in Germany it was the same, like they were overrunning the local businesses. So there was a choice. Do you buy from the Jewish store or you buy from the Polish store, right? The same. So it's the same formula. A group of business owners and island residents recently filed a petition with more than 200 signatures submitted to the governor of the Surat Thani province, urging actions against what they described as Israeli activities causing distress to local communities. Okay, here is a hard name to say. Apivat Srivattharaporn, Assistant Village Chief in Kofangan, acknowledged the growing concern over foreigners running unlicensed business operations on the island. If they just live or travel here, that's fine, he said. But business operations should be done legally. So they are just going there and starting businesses that don't have the legal standing. According to Thailand's Immigration Bureau, as of late of September this year, guys, 2025, there were 2,627 Israeli nationals applying for visa extensions on the island, out of about 8,000 total foreigners, making Israelis the largest group under scrutiny for potential illegal commercial activity. Tan, whose family has been operating a business in Kofangan, said problems with Israeli visitors are not new. But lately they have become more noticeable as more and more of them are visiting. The number of Israeli tourists to Thailand has risen sharply in 2025, with estimated 350 visitors expected this year, up 25% from the previous year. They have very distinct characteristics as customers, like bargaining hard or being quite demanding. Okay, I have to say a few things from my personal experience after we end this article, okay? Of course, tourist behavior varies. Some are good and some are not. But in recent years, there have been more and more Israelis on Kofangan. Before they used to come alone, but now we see them arriving as families. That's made the Israeli community on the island much larger, and it's also intensified local frustration towards them. Dr. Manor Ari, assistant professor at the Department of Political Science, Faculty of Social Sciences, sorry guys, those names are hard, Srina Kranivirot University, told Arab News that since the beginning of Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza in 2023, Thailand has become a preferred destination for Israeli citizens, largely because of its cultural openness and previous absence of anti-Israel sentiment. But the lack of respect for local culture and the growing sense of economic exploitation have fueled public resentment. Many Israelis are alleged to have used Thai nominees to register businesses, so bribing, trading exclusively among themselves without contributing to local communities. The establishment of Israeli schools and centers for religious activities which are closed to outsiders has also stirred unease among local residents. Some organizations have also brought Israeli soldiers for rehabilitation in Thailand. I showed you this some David rescue projects a few videos ago. According to reports in the Thai state media, some of these groups have been directly linked to the Israeli military industry. This has led to fears among locals about why they are here and what they are doing, Ari said. The government's intention to boost tourism has backfired, creating unintended negative consequences. So, If people think I just moved to Thailand and everything will be good, this is an example from one island, but I'm sure this formula will be replicated in other places as well, as long as people don't oppose it as soon as possible, right? Because this is taking over the local businesses. This is it's not easy, absolutely not easy. It's a domination of the market, right? And controlling the reality as far the economic situation of those people who live there as well. So I want to share a personal story, since this just brought back some memories for me, where I used to live in New York City for about a year. I was working in high-end retail stores. Many of you know I've shared before, for those high fashion brands. And in that time, I worked at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York City, and I was the manager of the brand, many of you know, called Christian Dior. So I was in charge of this little boutique. Many top brands had like this little boutiques. It was on the 3rd floor of Saks Fifth Avenue. And I have to tell you, I dealt with nationalities from all around the world. And that type of industry, you know, high price points, you have very, very interesting people, most of them wealthy, but some of them just regular people who wanted to buy something that is, let's say, with a name, okay, of certain designer. So during the sales that Saks had, this was the worst time. And why is that? Because in that time, the number of clients who were coming, especially from Brooklyn, New York, of very much looking like Habat Lubavitch believers, those type of people, I will say like very Orthodox Jewish clients, women, only women. It was absolutely horrific. I would say, and I'm not exaggerating, 99% of those clients were almost impossible to deal with. Not just the attitude. The attitude was very demanding, was very difficult, it was almost like not human in a way sometimes. It was not knowing the boundaries, not respecting when you say, I can't do it. No, this is the policy, like asking for more discount, more markdowns when you know that this is what's established. So everyone pretty much who dealt with them, as far as the employees, when they saw them coming, they were hiding, they were running away, they were going to wherever they could go to the back where employees had lunch, they were going to the bathrooms, escaping. But of course, sometimes you had to deal with them, right? So the story is, one day, I remember they were buying things, and then very often what they were doing, they were returning them when the price went down. Let's say after a month or 2 months, there was like second markdown. I never forget, one day I was at my little Christian Dior boutique, nicely put together, beautiful, clean, everything organized. And this woman comes, like those large black garbage bags, this strong plastic black garbage bag. And she has tons and tons, of course, not tons, but kilos of merchandise inside that garbage bag that she purchased, and she literally throws all of it out, and she wants to return it, and some of them to exchange it. But when she returns them, then she wants to ring them up again because the price went down. So the price on the receipt was the old price, which was higher. But if there was additional markdown, let's say additional 20%, she wants to ring up majority of that one more time, but she will pay 20% less. She didn't have to do it, if she would just wait. But that was how you deal with those people. And I can only imagine what those people in Thailand are going through as far as the businesses. Because I will say, and I know I'm generalizing now, because I have experienced this, the majority of those type of people because I assume this is what they are describing in this article, is this type of people. They are almost impossible to deal with. As far as the customer service goes, as far as having hospitality for people, you're losing your patience. You just can't deal with people anymore after interacting with individuals like that. So imagine if this goes all around Asia, and to some extent it will go to many countries. The question is how far they will, or already are, affecting the political decisions, and how much they are bribing or blackmailing, because you can blackmail most of those people who are in power. How much they are doing this already, and how much more they will be doing this in the future. So what do you think, guys? What do you think? Pretty clear picture, isn't it? We're gonna destroy something, then it's gonna be a vacuum for power, so they could just leave it to the Muslims that they used that, okay? The extremists, not every Muslim. There are good people too, of course they are. But they use this to destroy the West, that is the plan. Then they go east to kind of have a little bit more safe, glamorous, clean life, but still affecting the politics and the economical decisions of the countries. That's how they do it. It's like on and on and on. It's the same repetition. And I'm not an expert, and I don't want to be an expert, but it's just using common sense and observing this. And pretty much everyone I'm coming across as far as the politics go is complicit at this point. So the links will be down below in the description box. Let me know what you think. Hit thumbs up if you appreciate the content. I hope you do. And subscribe to my channel, free of charge. If you have Instagram, follow me there. It's AniaK_44. The links will be in the description box if I said it already. And that's all for today, guys. If you choose to support my work, the best way is to become my Patreon supporter. You have the link down as well. PayPal or locals. And that's it. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.